Hi, I'm Lou, one of the bakers at Quiet Valley Historical Farm. I'm going to go with a quick overview of baking a loaf or two of wheat bread, one of the recipes that we use during the summer at the brick oven at Quiet Valley. The first step is you want to get your yeast together and bloomed. You take your yeast, put it in a little warm water with a little bit of sugar, and then set it aside. It'll take maybe 10 to 15 minutes to bloom, but this is what it should look like a nice little froth to it. Once you have that prepared, you can start with the second step, which is your wet ingredients and salt. We have honey in it and some vegetable oil. Mix those ingredients with 1 cup of the flour and get that all mixed together. And once you have that mixed together, then you take your yeast mixture that I just showed you, and you take that and you incorporate that into that wet ingredients.
Get that in here with a whisk and just mix it up real well.
Once you have that mixed up, now you want to add the rest of your flour. You're going to start with a cup at a time until it starts getting stiff, and then you want to mix it slowly until you come up with a nice dough consistency. Mix it up pretty well when you're doing it. That way all of the water is incorporated into the flour. Depending on the temperature of the day and the humidity and all, the amount of flour is going to differ. This is 5. Once it starts getting stiff, you can dump it out onto your board. You can see here it's clumping up pretty good and all. And once you have that done, you can either put it out onto your board or take it, and you stay right into the bowl and use my hands and start mixing and kneading as you go till it forms a nice stiff dough. You don't want to make it too dry because then the bread will become very dense. That's pretty good there, so we're going to go ahead and throw a little flour onto the board. All out onto the board and then take it, and that's when you want to start just kneading it together. Okay, once you have it to that stage and it stays together, take it, just round it up, take your bowl back again, spread a little bit of flour to the bottom of your bowl, and then put the dough into the bowl, and then you want to cover it with a cloth and let it set to rise. It should rise to about double in size, and then we'll go ahead and bake then. Now that the dough has risen to about double in size, we're going to put a little flour on our kneading board, and we're going to dump the dough out, and now we're going to knead it. I like to knead it a little bit first, and then we're going to cut it into 2. This recipe will make 2 loaves of bread. Do 2 somewhat equal parts, set one aside, and then you knead each loaf separately. It's kneaded fairly well. Now you want to start shaping it. So you just take it and make that fold into the inside so the top looks real nice. And if you're lucky enough, like us here at Quiet Valley, you have a brick oven. You want to just take it and circle it and round it and that would be the shape of your loaf for Quiet Valley in a brick oven. Or if you have a pizza stone for your oven, you can bake that on the pizza stone in your oven. Now, if you don't have a stone or a brick oven, then you want to shape it a little differently. And we're going to end up putting this one in a pan. And this, instead of going into a circle, you want to keep it more into a loaf shape. You want to try and keep the sides fairly even. You don't want it too big in the middle and thinner in the sides. Now we take this and we put it into a greased bread pan. Put it in your pan, and now this has to set aside, rise again. Once it's risen, then you can put it into a 375-degree oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, this is the bread that we just made. It's out of the oven. It's actually been cooling for about 10 minutes. You really don't want to cut the bread when it's first out of the oven. It's too hot. It doesn't cut very well. Give it a try. This is the loaf that I baked on the pizza stone. Still quite hot. That's when it's the best, actually. A little butter and share.